back in the messy garage, and I'm wanting to get the windshield out of this 59 Ford panel van, and we're gonna see what we can do here. Really want to save this windshield. I don't want to damage it if at all possible. You can buy them, but they're expensive, and you know, I just as soon not have to spend that money. So the first thing I did was I removed all of this chrome on the bottom to help make this gasket a little more flexible. And there's another video on that if you want to watch it, and if not, no big deal. Next thing I did was I took right here and I put a cotter pin puller or booger picker through the gasket to kind of push that gasket out a little bit and make it a little easier to do my next step. The next step is I'm going to take this paracord and I'm going to put that paracord through the gasket from outside, or I'm sorry, from inside to out. In order to do that, I'm going to use this, which some of you may recognize as being a tire tool for installing patches on tires. So I'm going to put the paracord through that, and that'll give me something nice that I can kind of push that paracord underneath the gasket, between the gasket and the body. So let's try that. See what happens here. Now this is going to get a little goofy. I'm going to take the, as you can see, the right there, if you can see the wiggling of the windshield. I'm going to take the tire tool, slide it up, slide it through, hopefully. Looks like a two-handed operation, so I'm just going to have to pause it there for a minute. Okay, got it through. Got the paracord here. I'll go ahead and pull that through. Now I'm going to take the paracord out of the tire plug tool. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that tire plug tool in there. And then you can see I put this knot on the back side of the paracord. I'm going to get that knot up under here, and I'm going to try, can you see how as I pull this along, that knot is pulling the gasket out. So what I'm going to do is get inside the truck and listen to things crash and bang. And I'm going to apply light pressure to the side of the windshield here as I pull this along to release that gasket. And once I get one corner out, the rest of this thing is going to lift out pretty easy. So give me just a minute here. Okay, so I stuck the camera up on top of my welder, maybe get a little bit of height and give me two hands to work with. So like I said, I'm going to push against the windshield this way as I pull this cord, and hopefully as I do that, that's going to allow that windshield to come out. And it's kind of fighting me a little bit. So I'll slide this down, keep pushing, and still fighting me. Okay, now we can see it's starting to go. Now I can again, pulled that right through, but at this point, the gasket has started to separate from the body pretty nicely, and with any luck, with just light pressure, I can continue to work this windshield out. Does look like I'm going to have to keep working this forward along with the gasket. And there she goes. It's coming out pretty nice. Now, I don't have fancy suction cup holders for it, things like that. So all I want to do is get this windshield up out of place and keep working this across. And I don't know if y'all could see that. Okay, I've now moved this tire tool out towards the center of the vehicle. And each time I move it, that releases the bottom of the gasket. You don't need to beat on this thing. Matter of fact, you don't want to. You want to just apply that light pressure, and you can see that windshield moving. So I'm going to shut it down for a second, and we'll see what happens. So this is what it looks like from inside the vehicle. You can see the paracord in place there. And I've kind of been, just sawtoothing it back and forth to help separate this gasket. And then following behind it, I've got the tire tool. And I'm using the tire tool because that's nice and round. And so it really helps me to lift that gasket out of place as I lead it with the paracord. Kind of like that. Okay. And as I'm doing that, I continue to just put light pressure against the base of the windshield. So again, this is a two-handed operation, and I'm really having a hard time holding the camera and doing this at the same time. So we're going to pause again. Moving into the middle of the windshield is where things are going to tighten up the most and where you need to take the most time. At this point, it never hurts to spray a little lubricant on the gasket to help make it come out, but use a water-based lubricant. So I'm using just regular old glass cleaner as my lubricant. It works really well. Managed to work all the way around to the right side of the windshield and getting ready to come around this corner. So at this point, I don't even need the paracord anymore. The gasket's separating really nicely, and I'm going to get this thing loosened up, set into place, and then a little later on, myself and another guy are going to lift the windshield out of the way, and we'll be ready to blast the interior of this truck with a media and get it ready for paint and rust repair. So that's really the secret to getting a gasketed windshield out of place. Take your time. Really easy to break a piece of glass. Just go slow. It's all right. You can sometimes walk faster than you run. Well, there it is. It's out, ready for removal. The gasket's been taped against the glass to help give it a measure of protection. And we'll get it out of there and good to go.